Okay, so it's recording. There it goes. It was being slow. Okay, so welcome tonight. We appreciate you joining us. This is the Notre Dame of Maryland University School of Education Orientation. My name is Ryan Schaff. I'm Associate Professor of Educational Technology. I'd like to start off by introducing our Dean, Dean Dupuis. Would you like to give us a nice welcome, please?
Sure. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good start to their week. We look forward to, I know a lot of you are in some of the programs already, exploring other options. So we look forward to answering any of your questions that you might have. We have lots of great information for you. And yeah, so we're excited that you're here and you're going to get a lot of information. So stay tuned. So thank you, Dr. Shaw.
Okay, so I am going to start sharing my screen, and I put it into the chat box again. The link to the website. Can everybody hear me okay? Uh, okay. So if you click over here, so again, I put the link into the chat box. If you go to this site, you go to agenda. Here's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we just had Dr. Dupuis welcome us. Next up is going to be Kate Newton. Kate is from the Loyola Notre Dame Library, which is right next door to us. We kind of share we share the library with Notre Dame. So I'm going to stop sharing and let her take over.
Thank you, Ryan. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for having me in tonight. We're only going to take a few minutes because we know you guys are really busy and you've got a lot to cover this evening. My name, as Dr. Scharf said, is Kate Newton, and I'm the online learning librarian at Loyola Notre Dame Library. And the reason that I'm here tonight is that I'm also the liaison librarian, which is kind of a subject matter expert for the schools of education. I also cover theology, religion, and philosophy as well, but my primary area is religion. So, what I'm going to do tonight is just give you a brief introduction to the Loyola Notre Dame Library website, which is what you're going to use for most of your studies. It's going to be a really brief overview because the odds are really high in the next couple of weeks that you guys are going to have me or one of my colleagues in one of your classes to do a more in-depth discussion of our resources. So, we're just going to touch on some things tonight. Okay, let me get you to the library website. Can everybody see the front page of the library? Okay, you can access the library website by either going directly to lndl.org or by coming in through your Canvas online platform webpage. So this is basically what the library website looks like. And this is sort of your portal to all of the information that you're going to need to help support your research and your work over the next few years. Before we get to some of the pages that are really important for you to know about, I just want to tell you about a couple of ways to get help if you need it. And we're going to reinforce this over and over in your classes. There's a few ways to get a hold of a research librarian. The easiest is that on every page of our website, down in the right-hand corner, there's a box that says Chat with a Librarian. And if you click on that, you will be able to talk to either one of the reference librarians here in the building or a trained reference librarian that works for the company and the consortium that we're part of. They have access to all of the same material that we do. And having other librarians comes in, let us run this service almost 24/7 and almost 365 days a year. So we are always readily available to talk to people through chat. Another way to get help is to go back to the main page to this blue menu bar, hover over help, and click on Ask a Librarian. This lists out all the different ways that you can get a hold of us, from chat to walk up to the desk during business hours, email, or phone. And then we have a service that most heavily used by our graduate students, and you will hear about this again, where you can schedule a meeting with a librarian. And what this does is let you pick a particular librarian that you'd like to work with and a day and time that work best for you. And it lets you set up a 30-minute one-on-one consultation with a research librarian. Many of your professors are going to require or strongly suggest that you do this. I know that Doctors Pallett and Dupuy ask their students to work with the librarians pretty closely, and it's a service that'll be available to you for the rest of your career at Notre Dame. So you'll be able to come back and talk to us anytime you need to. Other than getting help, the things that I want you to be most familiar with, and I'm going to go back to the homepage, is once again under this help bar. If you scroll down, there are a bunch of new resources that we've put into place. And one of the important one is this graduate student library resources page. What we've done here is gone around our webpage, which has an enormous amount of information, and we've gathered together everything that we think is most important for our graduate students to know at a quick, momentary glance and put it in one place. So we cover everything from how to make a research consultation, what our research and learning program looks like in the library, and we have expanded out to how to read scholarly writing, what different types of research methods are, how to do a literature review, how to manage your writing and your resources while you're doing long-term projects. So if you need a refresher on things that you're going to learn how to do during one of your classes, this is a really excellent place to go. One of our top pages is 5 skills to master during your first semester. And they are find out how to get help, find out how to get to your online resources from off campus, schedule a research consultation, find databases and journal collections, and learn how to get to the full text of an article. These are all things that are covered in the expanded version of the class, and then we give you a refresher here. Now, other than that specific guide, another one that is going to be really useful is if you go again in through help and go to the research guides. And instead of sorting through these, I'm going to go to the research guides by subject and scroll down to education. And these are all of our specialty guides to use with specific classes or with education in general. You can see we've set quite a few of these up. For example, Education 703 has a special guide, and it gives you tips and tricks for doing research and to help you get started with your writing. These are directed specifically at education classes. And in fact, we have a main one that goes specifically to the broad topic of education and then has all of the different classes listed out for us. So we cover everything from how to search your most frequently used databases to a link to refreshers on how to write in APA style. Just a reminder to start planting the seed in your head. The librarians are here to assist you with your research. If you need assistance with writing, such as citations or how to structure a paper, we highly encourage you to go to the Writing Center on campus because those are your writing experts. And the last place that I'm going to show you how to get to are our specialty databases. So I'm going to show you, here's a link on search on that same menu on the homepage. And if you click on databases, these are all the databases in every subject that the library covers. So a database is basically a repository for scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. It's a place where all of your research is stored in different topics. And we have over 200 of them. So once again, I'm going to go to subjects and I will scroll down and pick education and ask it to pull all of them up. And up at the very top, are our best bets. These are the ones that we use the most frequently. So ProQuest Education Journals and ERIC, but they are all gathered in one place. So you can find them all and do sort of a survey of the different references as you need them. Those are really the most important places that I'm going to show you in this 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing and just reinforce that we are here to help you guys at every step of your journey. So please don't hesitate to email us, call us, walk in to come see us, make a consultation, because we want to do everything that we can to make your process of getting through your graduate work easier and a little less intimidating. So definitely please get a hold of us. Thank you for letting me come in for a few minutes and have a bit of your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Ryan.
Kate, thank you so much for giving us that really quick orientation. If there's anything that you need, it's really easy to find. It's lndl.org. We used to call it Late Night with David Letterman. Uh, that's how I used to have to remember it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the rest of our orientation. Kate, thank you very much. If you need to drop off, go and enjoy dinner. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. There. Oh no, participants. There we go. Come on, there we are. Okay, so a few times I have shared in the in the chat box, I've shared the link for this website. So I'm going to go to the live site. And as you can see, we're making our way through the Loyola Notre Dame Library. We just finished. I'm going to go through the agenda, go to IT information. So I'm going to walk you through some of the technology like websites that are really important once you start at Notre Dame. The first is, of course, ndm.edu, so the main landing page for the website. So it's a really big one now. They just reformatted it. It looks pretty nice. A lot more friendlier in my opinion. A lot more metrics, a lot more stuff, and you can see the School of Education is down here. And this is how you can link to us. So I'm not going to actually go there because I want to actually go to another site. So this is our static, this is our page. This is our front loaded page. You go here, you'll find out more information about programs, about academics, about community once you become an alumni. I want to introduce you to Gator Hub. Gator Hub is our portal. Now, you do have to log in. Once you kind of enter this, you have to use your Notre Dame credentials. It's a Microsoft 365 credential. So it should come as a new student, it should come with your tech packet, the packet that gives you all of your different logins. I find this portal.ndm.edu is to like the perfect jumping point to go to all of your different technology services. So the first one is self-service. So self-service is the student information system. This is the site that you would go to register for a course, pay your bill, um, look up and find your grades, download tax information, look up information on financial aid. So this is a very important site. My suggestion, along with the website that I just asked you to bookmark, I suggest also bookmarking this. Self-service is where you go to download your schedule. Again, see your grades. Very important. I can no longer go in there because I'm a faculty member. But you as a student can actually see it, navigate it, and go through and explore it. So that's self-service. I'm going to go back to the portal temporarily and just show you some other stuff. So I'll go into Canvas in a little bit, but here's also how you can access your email, the web version of your email. If you click on this, it will send you to a login screen, and then you have access to your email through Notre Dame. Email is extremely important. I'll let Dr. Letizia talk about our email protocols in a moment, but just to talk about, this is how you can gain to web access. It's also you're able to use Outlook if you want to connect and use it on your laptop, or you can use the client. Obviously, if you have a PC or a Mac, it's compatible with both. Uh, All right. Self-service email portal. All right, I'm gonna move on and talk about the student handbook. So, you have various student handbooks at the university, depending on whether you're in a PhD program, a graduate program, or an undergraduate, which I don't know if we have a lot of undergraduates on the orientation with us right now. However, I just want to show you an easy place. If you go to the home which is the main page, and scroll down, you have access to the student handbooks. The first one is the graduate handbook. So I'm scrolling down, and you can obviously take a look at it from there. If you need to zoom it in, you can obviously zoom out, zoom in if you want to, but it's all the information that you would need to know as a student. Now, this is the School of Education version. That means that what we've done is there is a main Notre Dame graduate handbook. We created this handbook to kind of fill in this in the gaps with School of Education policies, protocols, practices, and so forth. So this is the graduate handbook, which you can gain access to. Here is the student handbook as well. Does need revised soon. And also, so you can gain access to these different handbooks. If you want the PhD and handbook, you can always click on the PhD page. I'm just going to go there for just a moment just to show you where the handbook is. It is right here. And you can obviously scroll down. And since the PhD book, a lot of times you might need to download it and use the forums. You can also download the PhD program handbook too. So I'm going to go back to the agenda. And so those are your student handbooks. If you, let's see, if you need a copy, you can always ask your advisor, but you should be able to find it online. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Letizia. He's going to talk about some important academic policies and protocols. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Hi, everyone. How are you? It's good to see, yeah, we're familiar faces. So I'm just going to run through a couple of different things here. Dr. Shava talked about our email protocols. This is actually really important. When you communicate with us, with your professors, university advisors, whoever, you really need to be using your Notre Dame issued email. It's really important for us because if things are not on your Notre Dame email, it just doesn't keep a good record. Everything should be on there. So when you are emailing us, when you're emailing advisors, when you are doing official business with the university, emailing about assignments, anything, please, please, please use your Notre Dame email. Very, very important. Want to talk briefly about the syllabus. We have a policy that our syllabi should be open 10 days to 2 weeks prior to the course. So you can check in Canvas. The entire Canvas shell most likely won't be loaded in there, although some of them might be. But the syllabus and some of the opening are available. And if they're not, you can email the professor. The other thing I want to talk briefly about our syllabi. The syllabus is the sort of the foundation of the course. That's the main record of the course, right? So always consult the syllabus. That's really important because a lot of times I'll get emails saying, "Oh, Dr. Lisi, when's this due?" or "When is this?" or this, and everything is it's in the syllabus, right? So it's really, really important that. And again, if you check the syllabus and you still don't understand, then obviously send an email. But I think we have students sometimes who don't check the syllabus at all, and I can kind of see why because of things do get posted to Canvas, but Canvas is just our delivery method, whereas the syllabus is the official record foundation of the course. So that is really, really important to understand. In fact, in my courses, I make everyone do a sign off saying that they understand that they have to check the syllabus first. So please always check the syllabus first, because a lot of times also professors will load things onto, they'll give more detail in the syllabus about things, grading procedures, things like that. So please check that. Our incomplete policy. So our incompletes are for extenuating circumstances only. Part of a non-negotiable for us is that you have to have at least 50% of the course completed. So what that means is if you don't do any of the work and then it's 3 days before the course ends. You can't go to your professor and say, "Hey, I just need a little more time." Doesn't work like that, right? So, in order to be granted, and these are at the discretion, but in order to be granted an incomplete, um, there really should be extenuating circumstances, usually something like a death in the family or family troubles, things like that. Um, and then you really have to have 50% of the course completed. And then what will happen is you and the professor will agree on a date, right? So you'll have, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month to finish your assignments. And then if you do not hand in the work by that specified date, because that professor has to put in the date. So this isn't just a date you agree on, it's the date that the professor actually puts into the system. And if you do not hand in the work by the specified date, then it will revert to an F. So the professor will put it incomplete, and then it would revert to an F. And if there's issues, obviously stay in contact with the professor. The other, and that kind of brings me back to the bigger point with what we see, especially in asynchronous courses and really in any course though. If you feel like you are getting in a hole in the course, do not go MIA. Talk to that professor. Be vocal. Always say, hey, just drop the professor an email. I'm falling behind. This is what's happening in my life. So, I think professors we're pretty flexible. We understand that life happens, and we know, well, I think everybody in this call, yeah, the right, so we don't have any undergraduates. So everybody's a working, professional. So we understand. So just be in contact with us. Be in constant contact with us. And it's better to be proactive and do that earlier than waiting, 3 days and the course is going to end. So please understand that incompletes are reserved only for extenuating circumstances, and you need to have 50% of the work done. Um, okay. I think Ryan, I will come back and finish. I'll do something else. I think you have me slated for another thing, but I think there's going to be some in between. So I think I'm done with my portion for now.
Okay. Absolutely. Let me just let this one person in. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and show everybody the academic calendar. Notre Dame is quite busy. We have many different terms. It's not just a traditional like fall semester, spring semester, maybe you take a winter and a summer class. We have a lot of different terms, and we also have special days and different experiences. You may have a different academic calendar, compared if you're in the School of Nursing versus the School of Education. So the way we try and organize that is we actually have an academic calendar, which I put on the main homepage. It's a link to the main website at Notre Dame, and I'm going to start sharing again, so this way you can just follow along here. There we are. Okay, so I just clicked on the home page of the website it gave you, and I scrolled down just a couple little scrolls right to here, in which I put some important links. I put Gator Hub, which is the portal I showed you just a moment ago, and I also showed you here's a link to the academic calendar. And again, if you can't find it on here, you can always just type Notre Dame of Maryland University academic calendar, and it'll bring it right to you. You can see that it's organized by term. Right now, we're getting ready to go into. Let me go to the right one first. Okay, so right now, wait. 26. We're summer 26. We're going to go into spring 2026. And you can see, like, we have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday holiday on the 19th. That's why courses start on for the spring start January 20th. And the Easter holiday, there's the information right there. There's also the university events like Notre Dame of Maryland, I'm sorry, Notre Dame Day, which is a special day of service and reward and awards. And then also you can see like undergraduates, graduates, professionals. There's a lot of different terms of you have the start dates, you have the end dates. So make sure to consult the academic calendar uh, when ever you have a question about when something is like when's the Easter break, when's the end of the term. You can always go there to take a look. Make sure to go to the agenda. I have to make sure I'm getting
One
all.
of,
Go ahead. Somebody asking something?
Brian, one
Yeah.
of the most important things on there, and if you said it and I missed it, I apologize. But the drop add dates
Yes.
are really important for students to notice because if you drop a course, it depends on the date you drop, whether you get a full refund or not.
Mhm.
So it'll scale back from, 100% to 75% to none of your refund. So just be sure you keep an eye on that because I know that sometimes is a surprise for students, when they drop the course and maybe do or don't get a refund.
Yes. So the drop in ad dates will also be on there. Thank you, Dr. Pallet. Um, so anyway, there's the academic calendar. The next is Canvas. So we use a learning management system to organize all of our online learning environments, our face-to-face learning environments. We have a digital presence. So we use Canvas at Notre Dame. So I am just going to give you kind of a quick little 5-minute tour. So I clicked on, let's see, you can get there through the portal. You can go and type in if you want to Canvas at Notre Dame Maryland University. You'll get there. It's also ndm.instructure.com. So there's a couple different ways here. I can even put the link into the chat box. Hold on, let's see if I can find it real quick. Come on. Where are you at? Sorry, Zoom's not letting me right this moment. There it is. Hold on. There we are. Chat. There's the link to Canvas. Okay. So when you log in, you first arrive at the dashboard and you see all these course tiles. Okay. So you would find your course that you're taking. You can see that they are labeled with spring or fall. I'm going to take us into a site. I'm just going to take you through a quick little walkthrough of a site that's not published yet. So this way I can respect everybody's privacy, all my students' privacy. Okay. So I have come in here. So you can see everything's kind of like you scroll from the top down to gain access to all of your different resources, lesson materials, and so forth. Your teachers can send announcements through here. They can click on announcements, they can type you information. You're going to get an announcement through Canvas's page, but it's also going to populate your email. So you'll get an email with that announcement. So that's why it's so important to make sure you check your Notre Dame emails because a lot of times you'll get announcements through here. Okay. You can see your assignments, you can see your discussions through here. So if I click on assignments, you can see this is my course I developed. And you can see I have a lot of different assignments here. If you have to submit something, you can click on assignments and you would click on here to submit it. You would upload it as a document, or sometimes you can also type in the fields if your instructor set it up to accept that. Whatever, just make sure you follow what they say in the syllabus to upload documents and submit it. You are able to see grades. If you click on grades, you can see how it is. Now, don't worry, you're not going to see everybody's grade. You're just going to see your grades, your specific grade record. So you're just going to see all of your information, all the feedback from the professor. The nice thing about Canvas, not only does it give you scores, sometimes it gives you scores on rubrics, sometimes it gives you a score, but it also gives you a lot of qualitative information. They can give you comments. So there's quite a bit of information they can provide you on Canvas. Now, if I want to get back to the main page, I can always use a breadcrumb, this little trail right here. I can go right back to the main page and I would scroll down. Now, if a professor ever says, hey, go to module 2 and begin your work, and you notice that it stops at module 1, they may have forgotten to make it visible. So all you have to do is like, hey, professor, can you please, can't find module 2. Are you sure it's open? We are sometimes we're silly and we forget to open them up. So just to let you know, you can see I can actually make this all invisible right now. But just to kind of let you know what it looks like. Let's see, assignments. Oh, if you're going to do a discussion post, you can either do it on the main module page or you can come here and actually do a discussion. I don't have a discussion set up for this sandbox, but you can go in, hit reply, and then enter information. The nice thing about discussions, it can be text, but also the instructors could use video or audio. It's nice. It's kind of like a multimedia type of discussion forum if they choose to do so. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think. Most of the time, you're going to find content right in the middle right here. Like, for instance, this is a welcome video. I would click this and play. There's links. Like, this will actually take you to, was it a document? This will be information that you can download off a page. So all of this information you would just click on here. I'll just click on one just to show you how you can access it. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there it is. It just had a hiccup. Come on. There it goes. It's taking a little bit time to load. And then you could also use these little next or previous buttons here. If I hit next, you can see it's going to take me to the next page right here. So to get back to the main screen, you can always click on dashboard and it will take you out to all of your classes. So right now you should probably only see one or two, depending on how many courses that you take at a time. And it'll keep and if there's ever a course you're like, oh, I took it, I want to go back to it, but darn it, it's not on my page anymore. If you go to courses, you can always click on this link that says all courses, and it'll give you a massive library of all the courses you belong to. Because, if you take a spring course, chances are that tile is going to disappear once you hit summer or fall. So if you ever need to get back to it, just hit on all courses. Okay, so that is Canvas. Dr. Letizia, would you like to take over on the honor code?
Yes, I won't bore everybody with the history of the honor code, but it was started actually at the College of William and Mary, which is my alma mater, Jefferson, and it became honor code here, 1937. That's when our honor code started. But the honor code is essentially, a commitment that you make to the school, that the school makes to you, and it's also obviously a promise as well. And so, generally, our professors have, discretion to handle any incidents in their courses. So a lot of times things will get handled at that level. But if something does go to the honor code, there is an honor board at the university that meets, and a professor can submit, uh, and they will rule on the case. So that's why it's important to read the syllabus and also understand the professor's expectations, especially now. And Dr. Schaaf is the expert on this, and if he wants to add more, but especially now with AI and a lot of, we're all kind of wading through this and kind of trying to figure it out. But a number of professors we have an AI statement in every syllabus. So it's part of the boilerplate language. So it's important that you consult that as well, to understand what you can and can't do. And each professor or a lot of professors are starting to have some more parameters. So like, for instance, in my class, I make it very clear you can't cut and paste something you get from AI. You can use it, and I lay out the ways that you can use it, but you can't cut and paste from it. And I think most professors would probably probably agree with that. And so again, we're seeing a lot more incidences with AI. Most of it is at this point probably ignorance, but at the same point, that still can be an honor code violation. So it's very, very important. And honestly, if you're not sure, just hit your professor. I've had a lot of people ask me, "Hey, I use this. Is this okay?" Right. So just again, it kind of goes back to what I said with the incompletes, right? Don't wait if you're not sure. And so again, if something goes to the honor board, they can rule on it and issue sanctions. And obviously one of the most severe penalties could be expulsion from the university. And then Dr. Schaaf, if you want me just to go into accessibility.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So I am going to I'm going to put a link. I know a lot of links in the chat, but there's a list of accessibility. And so what this is the 504 plan. And so I think some of you on here are actually in my legal class, and we may have discussed this way back when. But these are accommodations that are due to students. And so if you have accommodations, if you are not sure, you can schedule a meeting. If you click on that, you will know. So there's, you have to provide certain documentation. It tells you what documentation you need. You would have a meeting with our accessibility coordinator. And if you are deemed eligible, then you would receive accommodations. Now, here's the really important point. If you already have accommodations or you haven't done that yet, if you have accommodations or when you get them, they have to be given to the professor in the beginning of the course. If they are not given to the professor in the very beginning of the course, you can't draw on them. You can't use them. So you can't wait till before the course is over and say, "Oh, here are my combinations." They have to be given to the professor so the professor knows. So that tends to happen sometimes where students will not give their accommodations, or professor has no idea and they're playing catch up. So they have to come in the beginning of the course. Some of these have been adjusted now because a lot of them were traditionally for in-person or even synchronous courses, and now we with asynchronous courses. So sometimes we have extended time or things like that. But again, and if you're not sure if you need accommodations, or if you're not sure if what you have qualifies, set up a meeting. Go to that website, and you'll see it's a pretty friendly website, pretty friendly tabs and everything. Go to that website and schedule a meeting. And if you do need they'll request certain documentation. You'll have that meeting, and then you will get your accommodations that you have to give to each professor at the beginning of the course. Okay, Dr. Schaff, I think that covers it, unless anybody else has anything on that.
On the main homepage of the website, there's a lot more information. So if you actually want more of the policy on the Office of Accessibility, and if you want to make an appointment, there is a link. It's on the main homepage. You have to scroll down a bit below the handbooks, but there's all the language, the resources, information about disclosure, like all the processes and so forth, the notifications, and of course the scheduling. And there's also even an email address. So all that information's on there. There is also a section there on counseling. So if you ever find that you need any types of counseling, you can request an appointment for things like adjustment to college and anxiety, all sorts of like test anxiety, grief and loss. There are access to counseling center, and whether you're in graduate, undergraduate, PhD, whatever, you have access to that. If you're interested, it's also on the home page. I tried to put a lot of stuff on the home page. So this way you can kind of scroll down and really look after that information. All right. So let me get back to my agenda here. Okay. Um, Another thing, just a little in addition. So let's say you're taking a course and you might be having issues with the instructor. A lot of times you're like, okay, well, I'm paying my tuition.
Uh-oh. Did you freeze frozen?
Oh, my.
Oh, I can hear you, Dr. Pallet. Oh,
Okay. Ryan, you froze for a second there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I
There
back?
you go. Yep.
yeah,
Back
no,
up. Yeah, you're good now.
chapter 6.
Okay. So just to let you know, let's say you're having an issue with an instructor. A lot of times, like, okay, I pay my good tuition money. I'm going to go straight to the dean. There is a chain of, I want to
Ready?
say,
Yeah.
am I still frozen or am I still going? Is somebody
No, you're
talking?
good.
Okay.
You're good. There's some background noise. If everybody else can mute. Renee, if you can mute. Thank you.
Okay. So it's there is you want to start off first by addressing and talking to the instructor. A lot of times it can be remedied with just a conversation with your instructor. That there could be a misunderstanding, there could be some sort of confusion. The instructors are there to support you. So always start off with the instructor. Then there's also the next one is if you don't get the type of satisfaction or closure, you can then escalate it to the chairs. So Dr. Letizia is the chair of all the initial programs. And then I'm for the advanced programs. Let's see. Then again, we'll work with your instructor and you to try and kind of come up with a resolution or see if we can solve the issue. Then after that, eventually, then would escalate that to the dean. So it's a lot of times a lot of people like to skip right to the dean. That's not the proper procedure. Start with the instructor, talk to the instructor. Then go to one of the chairs. Okay. And again, if you contact one of us and you're not my student, I'll connect you with the right student, I'll connect you with the right chair. It's back and forth. So we'll make sure that you get the right audience. You're an audience. You get the right audience. You get the right person to have that chat with. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. I'm going to go ahead and talk about student ID cards. So traditionally, to get your student ID, you would have to visit Rice Hall on campus, which is right below. So Caroline is the gigantic, building. When you think Notre Dame, that's the building you think of as Caroline Hall. The Rice is a building that's right. It's just like it's maybe I don't know 50 yards down the hill from that hall. So if you find Caroline Hall, you'll find Rice Hall. If you go there, you can get your picture. Now, I just heard, I haven't read it, but I just heard they're now doing virtual IDs, I think, for online students. I haven't gotten the information yet. As soon as I find that out, I'll make sure to put it on this website. But just to let you know that they're starting to try and come up with like a virtual ID solution for students that aren't typically coming to campus a whole lot. Um, to access a lot of library databases, you may need to have the code. You can always ask the library to provide you with a code, either temporarily or you can actually go and I think you can get the number off of was it off of self-service. But anyway, just contact the library. A lot of times they used to have your student ID or student information. But to get your student ID, you would go to Rice Hall, or there's this virtual solution that is making its way through our, I think through email, but I haven't gotten it yet. So that's how you get your ideas. There's the document center. We do have, if you're working on campus, there is a document center. It is the basement of Caroline. So if you need to go and get the print things or get make a poster or something like that, there's a document center in the basement. Security is also in the basement of Caroline. You can also see it on the first floor of Caroline as well. That is the switchboard. That's where you can get if you need to come to campus to get like your parking pass. You would go to the main switchboard, which is on the first floor of Caroline. Uh, Security is the main office is in the basement, though. We do have an emergency alert system. It all the information is on your syllabus. It's a special section on the syllabus that goes through all the phone numbers. So if there's a closing, if you're not watching the news like I used to do when I was a kid, always can take a look at the you can set up alerts through texting. So all that information will be on your syllabus. So kind of keep an eye out for that. If not, you can always go to the security link that's on the website. Let me share one more time. So there is a little section right here that says security. It'll give you all the information. So there's a website, the locations, and there's a campus map if you want the map. More information is here. Parking spaces, reserved parking, handicap, temporary parking. So there is all that information. There's the main phone number. Here's the easy campus notifications. If you click here, you can sign up for text if whether the campus is closed or there might be there might be a power outage or something like that. You can get notified through this. Or there's an outage. I know that let's see, we had some issues with like Canvas at one point. Uh, they could contact you through this easy campus notifications. If you run into technology issues, I also provided here the help desk and IT support. So you can always email help desk or you can contact them at 410-532-5200. So I made sure to put this information on the website so you can gain access. If you forget a password or you're locked out or something happened, you have to contact the help desk. Your instructor is not going to have access to provide you with your email or Canvas access or anything like that. There is a bookstore. Right at this point, there's a gift shop. It's in the basement. They don't really sell books anymore. A lot of our bookstore is now really just online. So if you need access to your books and your professor is working with the bookstore, you can go to the site, the bookstore. It's right here, ndmubookstore.com, and it'll give you all the different information on how to buy books, buy back, match prices. And again, a lot of times the professor's not making any money off the books. If you can find it cheaper on Amazon, go for it. Just make sure it's the right edition. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Okay, at this point, I'm going to open it up to any questions. Feel free to either type in the chat box or you can unmute yourself.